I'm Faye Soteri, International Senior Watch Buyer at Watches of Switzerland, and I'm joined by Mark Toulson, Global Head of Watch Buying. Mark, this is always the most technical element of our job, and we get to really focus on the minutiae of this detail. Can you start by telling us what a complication is?
Well, basically, it's more or less anything that is above simply telling the time. So anything from some augmentation with dates, or a chronograph, or a dual time, or minute repeaters. So complications can be, if it's not an oxymoron, complications can be really simple, just the addition of a date, or can be really, really ultra complicated, like a minute repeater, which is probably the pinnacle of complications. And they have a function to aid people in their lives, and they're decorative in some respects, and they also express kind of the watchmaker's art and the skill, which most of it comes from years, hundreds of years ago, really, when watchmaking was really developing, and maybe they're not so much seen as for the technical marvels that they are in when we live in an electronic and digital age, but really assembling 600 or 700 pieces into a 40 millimeter case for it to not only tell the time but also make a noise like a minute repeater does, is quite something, and it's really quite a skill. So that's what we're talking about, complications in watches, and we'll try and make it as simple as possible.
Thank you. So I think you've covered why we have complications a little bit. Mm-hmm. So in terms of it's the art, we work with artisan products a lot, yes, as well, don't we? Mm-hmm. And it's how the brands have the ability to showcase the mastery and, mm-hmm, the technical element. Let's start with the types of complications.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, we can't necessarily cover everything, but I think here we'll talk about date complications. We'll talk about chronographs, multi-time watches, travel watches, and also minute repeaters, which we should definitely talk about, because that is sort of the pinnacle. So really those are the four principal types. But I mean, within that there are kind of subdivisions, mm-hmm, really.